Need funding for your real estate investment deal? Longhorn Investments is professional, reliable, and fast. Currently serving Texas, Tennessee, North Carolina, Missouri, Alabama, and Indiana, Longhorn Investments, LLC is a direct private lender offering short-term acquisition and renovation capital to real estate investors for both residential and commercial assets. With Longhorn Investments, you can receive up to 75% of ARV, finance up to 100% of cost, close in 3 to 5 business days, no income requirements, a streamlined, simple approval process, and no prepayment penalty. Formed in 2008, Longhorn Investments has funded over 4,000 loans since its inception and includes complementary businesses, including a title company and real estate law practice. Longhorn's wealth of experience puts them in the unique position of being able to help investors throughout all aspects of each transaction. To get started today and see why Longhorn Investments is the superior lending experience, call and speak to Lawrence Hopkins at 314-749-7616. That's 314-749-7616. Or visit Longhorn Investments at longhorninvestments.com. Longhorn Investments. Hard money lending simplified.
Universe. Media. Network. 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 Network.
Good day, I'm Samantha Smith with your United States Real Estate Investing News, sponsored by Longhorn Investments. Over the last few months, construction material prices have been quite volatile, but seemingly manageable. Now, real estate investors are on high alert throughout property rehab management as contractors have raised rates nationwide. Quoting Bendix Anderson of Wealth Management, developers have weathered the rising costs of construction materials and labor for a while, but now are feeling the pinch as contractors are increasingly passing on the higher costs. The costs of construction materials, including lumber and steel, have been volatile, with some steep spikes along the way during the past 2 years. Rising prices spread like wildfire, as the pandemic shut down factories and snarled deliveries for a long list of items. But many apartment investors were still able to find relatively low prices from contractors. These contractors increased the prices they asked for in their bids only slightly, even though their bills were much higher. For a year, cost increases outran bid prices. It created quite a squeeze for contractor profits, says Ken Simonson, chief economist for Associated General Contractors of America. Those contractor bid prices are now rising quickly, according to government survey data. Now it's the contractors' turn to raise their prices, says Simonson. I'm sure contractors have not been absorbing these prices willingly. Resistance to price increases from developers is now softening. The cost that contractors pay for construction materials to build apartments grew very quickly throughout the pandemic. It grew 13.2% over the 12 months that ended October 2021, according to the Producer Price Index, PPI, for inputs to multifamily construction kept by the Federal Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS. Many apartment investors didn't have to pay these high prices to build their projects, however. The contractors who build multifamily and commercial buildings largely kept their bid prices low to win business during the pandemic. So they absorbed the volatile cost of materials, says Simonson. The prices that contractors charge to build most kinds of real estate grew relatively slowly for most of 2021. Contractors are finally starting to increase their prices. The government doesn't keep exact data on the prices that contractors charge to build apartments, says Simonson, but the price hikes that all kinds of contractors are charging are visible in the bid prices that contractors charge to build new office buildings, which jumped 5.8% from September to October, according to the BLS. That's one of the largest one-month increases in bid prices ever, or at least since the government started keeping track a dozen years ago, says Simonson. Contractors may continue to raise their prices. The higher prices contractors charge now still do not reflect all the cost increases they absorbed since the start of the pandemic, says Simonson. The prices for materials contractors need to build new apartments are no longer rising relentlessly, month after month. But these prices are still unpredictable. The prices for construction materials have leveled off, says Simonson. Things can't go up forever. But expect volatility even if we don't continue to see record prices. For example, the price of lumber is a key component for new low-rise and mid-rise apartment buildings. Some of the most dramatic increases over the past year involved lumber prices, says Paul Emrith, Vice President for Survey and Housing Policy for the National Association of Home Builders, based in Washington, D.C. The price spiked to more than $1,000 per 1,000 board feet during the pandemic, according to futures contracts. That is more than twice the price before the pandemic, which never rose above $400. So far this year, the lumber prices have crashed back down to $400, and were back up above $700 in late November. The prices for a long list of materials are also wildly unpredictable, from gypsum to plastic to metal products produced in factories. Some factories are still closed or partially closed because of the pandemic. Other materials or components are delayed because giant ports like Long Beach, California, are overwhelmed. There is not room on the terminals to stack more containers, and there are not enough truck drivers to get the containers out, says Simonson. The number of ships waiting offshore to unload is still at record levels. All that will continue to make a wide range of materials more expensive and more difficult to find for a long time. Don't think that if you see a price come down that it is going to stay down, says Simonson. The high cost of labor also pushes construction prices higher. Contractors indeed say they can't attract skilled workers, says Simonson. There were more job openings in the construction business in September than ever before, according to the Job Openings and Labor Turnover Survey from the BLS. Contractors are offering higher wages, and average wages rose 3.0% in September compared to the year before, according to the BLS. So far, the extra money hasn't been enough to attract enough new workers to construction. Wages are rising for other types of labor, making them more attractive. Construction work is outside and it is early hours, says Simonson. All these factors will continue to add to the cost of development, and potentially add delays to projects. If it was just one bottleneck, it would be plausible to say the end of these price hikes is near, but there are no guarantees, says Simonson. End quote. For our quick content suggestion this week, we have Investing in Real Estate, What You Need to Know, from Washington Blade. To research further, see links and more from these reports in the news notes. If you'd like to get started in real estate investing, download our free guide, 5-Step Beginner's Guide to Real Estate Investing, at unitedstatesrealestateinvestor.com/free guide. That's unitedstatesrealestateinvestor.com/free guide. For more news and other great real estate investing content, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and TikTok. I'm Samantha Smith for United States Real Estate Investor News. United States Real Estate Investor, helping you achieve financial freedom through media, networking, and knowledge. UnitedStatesRealEstateInvestor.com.
Let's face it, your property is ugly as ARS Construction does it right. From roofing to exterior to all your interior needs. For a free roofing estimate, call now at 844-445-ROOF. That's 844-445-7663. Or visit AdvancedRoofSYS.com. That's AdvancedRoofSYS.com. ARS Construction. Roofing and construction done right.
Universe Media Mastering. Your audio more listenable.